the founder, George Leslie, comes in every day and he will sit at the bench and just look at the pond. And he just cannot stop talking about the pond. And when we first started this process, he was like, no, we're just gonna fix it. I don't think he was expecting it to just look like this. I mean, he walks with a king. He's 92, so walking is not super easy for him. But for him to make a point every day to come in and look at his pond is just wonderful.
Awesome.
Guys, it is that moment where we are about to release the koi. I know you've all been waiting for this. It's the one final remaining piece that this pond was missing. And we have 5 beautiful Japanese koi that my mom and dad hand-picked from the mud ponds in Japan. And this is gonna be their new forever home. So these guys went from mud ponds in Japan, flew on an airplane all the way to my house where they've been living in some big holding tanks, and now they're gonna call this place home. Check it out, buddy. These guys will swim around and investigate. It'll take them probably a few days to a week to really get adjusted to their new home. They were born and raised in mud ponds where the water is so cloudy and muddy that you can't see. They couldn't even see each other in the pond. To being transported and living into big holding tanks, and now they're going into a beautiful ecosystem pond. So they're gonna be exploring, checking everything out, nibbling on the algae on the rocks. Oh, look at this one, scaleless. A doitsu, absolutely beautiful. Look at those colors. In case you guys forgot, this pond lives inside of an atrium at the Butterfly Place in Westford, Massachusetts. And how fitting that there's a butterfly hanging out right here, watching us release the koi. They're getting ready to open. Their grand opening for the year is tomorrow. This is gonna be the first time all of the returning guests and the newcomers are gonna see this pond. And they just released all these butterflies. They've replanted all the plants. Look at the colors on that one. Gorgeous. So it's kind of a big deal. We're super excited for everybody that works here and everyone that's gonna come and get to experience this.
Hi, I'm Tim, and I'm the OG pond guy, and I'm here in Westford, Massachusetts at the Butterfly Place with Elena, who's a curator of the Butterfly Place for quite some time. So Elena, talk to me. Talk to me about your passion. Why this? Why this? Why do you do this?
I've always loved bugs. I happen to grow up in Westford.
Yeah.
And how awesome is it that you can find a place that you can work with your passion and have a career made out of it. And I feel very fortunate and blessed because I get to work with bugs and birds, butterflies, fish, fantastic staff, wonderful customers that come in.
People just don't want to play with bugs, so what's your background?
I did. One of my first words was bugs. It was.
I believe it.
Yeah, it was a lobster, but I didn't care. I was 3. It was great. The background of this place is really interesting because our founder, George Leslie, he grew up always loving butterflies and raising butterflies, and he read in Smithsonian Magazine back in the 80s about a butterfly house that opened up in England. And he said, well, if they can do it there, why can't I do it here? But nobody at the time had ever built a place like this before. He didn't know at the time there were 3 other places in the South building butterfly houses. So we were the 4th butterfly house in the United States and the first one in the Northeast.
It's so easy to forget now that we're looking at this beautiful water feature, what was here before. There was a non-functioning, leaking bare liner pond right in the middle. It was overgrown with all kinds of plants, roots poking through the liner, and it was just completely different to say the least. One of the biggest challenges we had once we removed that old pond is we realized there's only maybe 4 to 6 inches of soil inside of this atrium, and everything else all the way down for as far as we could dig is like beach sand or play sand, which is really easy to dig in, but it's extremely hard to build shelves and sculpt a pond without having it continuously collapse in on itself. We were able to overcome that by compacting as we went along and watering the ground. We kept it moist, so like when you're building a sandcastle, you've got the perfect amount of water in your pail with the sand, it holds its form. So we had to do that to the sand while digging in it, to be able to build this beautiful pond. And now that it's all rocked in, that won't be a problem. When you come visit this, you may appreciate it in person, but a lot of these rocks are pretty big. And if you think about it, there's only a couple of doorways to get into this building, and they barely allowed our wheelbarrow to fit past. So every large stone that you see in here, what's up, birdies? Look at my friends. Every single large stone that you see in this feature, we had to carry in by hand and set by hand, which is quite a feat. We didn't want to use really tiny rocks and make it easier on ourselves. We wanted it to look grand and natural and like it's always been here. The only way we could really accomplish that was with these bigger rocks, and I think it was worth all that extra work.
What was the experience like having the team in here rebuilding this pond?
Sean and the team showed up on time that first day. It was a relief because I really felt like I could put my faith in them and not, I mean, I can't even micromanage because I have no idea how this works, but like being very nervous about having a team in here when I wasn't able to be here all the time. So Sean was excellent at communicating. He always told us what they were doing, when they were doing it, what the timeline was. We did not believe the timeline. He was fantastic. And I enjoyed watching the team. I would just come in every day and just take pictures of what was going on, but they're really good at also documenting the process. So even when I wasn't here, I could watch videos of them working on it, which was really, really cool. And they have great senses of humor. I enjoyed it, which is really strange.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So obviously my favorite part is the waterfalls. This entire berm up here looks so natural. We added in some of our aquatic plantings and some of our creeping plants on the side. They're starting to go around and put their own living touches around the feature, making it their own. And it's incredible. This is where all the action is. Tons of color, moss, moving water. What's not to love about this section? There are elements of wood all over the place in this water feature. We didn't want to overpower it. We wanted to keep it looking very natural and have it make sense. So as you tour the water feature, you're going to notice there's down logs jammed up in the stream, some up retaining soil and plants in the berm. We also have this awesome log diving all the way from the water underneath up to the beach section over there. We surrounded that with some tall plants and it just looks epic. And then of course, this amazing piece over here, this specimen stump. Now, besides the fact that it looks super cool and natural, the butterflies love to bask. They bathe on these logs, they hang out. They also love to land on the rocks and suck some of the minerals from the water as they're absorbing into the stone. Just learned that fun fact for you guys today. Last but not least, my third favorite part about this water feature is all of the greenery. So that's the moss, the aquatic plants, and now the landscaping that the staff is starting to put around the feature itself. The best part is this is gonna keep growing and expanding and filling in. And over this season and the years to come, it's gonna look better and better. And that's why I love it so much. And all those elements tied together really help this water feature stand out, look extremely natural, and just very appealing to the eye. And I'm very excited for you guys to come here and check it out.
If you could describe your pond in only 3 words, what would they be?
Beautiful, peaceful,
That's 2.
relaxing.
Relaxing. I love it. Beautiful. If you could give homeowners one piece of advice that are either on the edge of the seat, whether they wanted to redo their pond or add a pond like this, an aquascape ecosystem pond to their space, what advice would you give them?
I would say go for it. If you're going to redo your pond, make sure you have them come and take a look at it first, because like I said, originally we were going to redo our big old mud puddle, and this is just
Hold
way
on, you're going to do your own pond?
When it was leaking, we actually considered just kind of putting a trash bag underneath it, just to try to keep the water from leaking out and just to try to keep it going.
So this is better than the trash bag?
Oh my God, it's absolutely gorgeous with the plants, and now we're putting in the fish. Much better than the frustration we would have had if we did try to fix it ourselves.
That makes it like so worth it for me. It's one thing that it's in here and it's cool and people are gonna see it, but to know that like you're that much in love with it and it impacted him so much, like that makes it totally worth it.
Yeah, well, I also really liked we could trust you, because I don't trust a lot of people, as you could tell by my sarcasm, and that was really nice because you really put us at ease, and your willingness to tell us exactly what was going on, and
I'm very passionate about this stuff, and I like to share that with people.
your attention to detail is fantastic. They're cute. They are cute.
That was a lot of hard work, guys, but I'm super proud of this one, and I'm very excited to unveil it to the public. Valentine's Day 2025, you guys will be able to check this out in person. So all season long, come look at this. But I'm out of here, guys. I got more stuff to work on. Before I go, I'm gonna scan the QR code, and then I'm on to the next project.